kind of ties into our last point, which would be know your goals and talk about it every meeting, however frequent that meeting is. But know that, okay, how much budget are we working with? Okay, now we know that budget. How much of that budget should we allocate toward these? We have 10 different products. Well, we can only fit 3 within this budget. What 3 are the most important for us for this campaign, for this time period, for whatever the case? Goals are, well, they're extremely important, of course, but what do goals help with? Well, goals really help with, we found out, it doesn't really matter if you're hitting all these metrics and all these numbers, and that's great. If you don't have a whole lot to show for it, if you can't prove what it is that you're doing for yourself either, what is the point of that either? So we've definitely seen success with clients with just going over goals repeatedly, making sure that we're on task and everyone's on the same page with everything at the end of the day, knowing, hey, should we be looking at impressions? Should we be looking at clicks? Should we be looking at conversion? Should we be looking at a combination of all of those? David, what would you have to add to that?
Yeah, I think knowing your goals is the number one way to avoid all those things we just mentioned. Because if your goal is to sell hot tubs, then that cumulative chart at the beginning that just shows impressions is not going to get you all hyped up, because at the end of the day, it's, well, how many leads and then sales from those leads were generated by the ads. Then you're not going to be deceived by a cumulative chart. And even if and when I say deceived, it doesn't mean someone's actively trying to deceive you. It just means that we sometimes deceive ourselves by thinking, oh, look how good it is. The impressions are going to be a nice stat, but it's going to be filtered through the idea of the goal. The goal was to make, and the goals can be very, very different. Sometimes the goal is really just to generate phone calls. Sometimes it is to actually get form fill outs. In some areas, it's going to be store visits. For instance, we find in the South that store visits are really a good metric, and phone calls are a really good metric too, because people are far less likely to fill out forms in the South, but they're very quick to pick up their phone and they're very quick to just come in for a visit. Whereas in California or New York, people are more likely to fill out a form and they don't really want to talk to anybody until they're ready to buy. So knowing what your audience is really helps inform your goals, and then it keeps you on track so that you don't get overhyped by cumulative reports, impressions, and then it also helps you keep your budget straight. Because if your goal is to move 50 hot tubs, then focus on your budget on hot tubs. You don't need to try to evenly distribute your ad spend across all your different products. Make your focus on whatever this goal is. And I would say always make sure you're telling your marketing agency your goal at every single meeting, because sometimes the goals change, and if they don't know, they can't pivot with you.
Yes, Google Ads is extremely powerful. I'm sure if you're watching this video, you already have at least an inkling of that. It will show you all the reports, all of them. It will show you all the things, and a lot of it is irrelevant to what you specifically need to be looking for. So that's why goals are super important for you and your business, and your clients, or whatever your industry is, to kind of filter through the not nonsense, irrelevant information for your specific business, whatever your end goal is. Maybe it makes sense to look at a cumulative chart, whatever you're looking at. If you're looking at past performance throughout the years, and there are other charts that help with that as well too. Again, I'm sure we'll get into that in future videos too. So know what your goals are. They're going to help you a bunch moving forward. So I think that's a great spot to end this, David, unless you have anything else you wanted to add.
No, that is it. I think your summary was fantastic.
Okay, awesome. Well, thank you guys so much for watching. Feel free to subscribe and hit the notification bell for future videos just like this one, and we will catch you on the next video. Thanks.